Hello, good evening, and welcome to Business Life. Coming up, we will be exploring how Ghana's tourism economy can be improved following revelations that Ghana's domestic tourism spending hit 1.56 billion cedis in 2023. We'll be live with the Ghana Tourism Development Company Limited. Also in this bulletin, Ghana's construction sector records a further slowdown in inflation in November 2025, offering relief to contractors, developers, and households amid easing cost pressures.
By 0.4% between October and November 2025. Materials and plants are driving the easing, while labor is adjusting slowly.
Plus, Ghana Revenue Authority seizes alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages sold without excise tax stamps at the Ashanti New Town Market in Kumasi.
We came here right now. We have seen that they have the product here. They don't affix the stamp. This is the stamp.
We've got details of these and more for you. Please stay on. Pius Kojobaka. A look now at our stories. Ghana's domestic tourism sector generated 6.59 billion cedis in total expenditure in 2023, driven by strong same-day and overnight travel. And this according to the Domestic and Outbound Tourism Survey released by the Ghana Statistical Service. The survey recorded over 15 million domestic tourist visits during the year, reinforcing domestic travel as a major pillar of Ghana's tourism economy and a growing source of income for households, transport operators, and accommodation providers, as well as local businesses across the country. But really, how is the Ghana Tourism Development Company Limited positioning itself to leverage on these impressive numbers to boost the domestic tourism economy of our country? Joining us now via Zoom is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Development Company Limited, Professor Kobi Mensah. Pleasure you could make time to join us here on Business Live. And again, we want to find out how does your outfit plans to leverage this data to boost domestic revenue largely?
Thank you for having me, and it's great to see you. Obviously, the tourism sector is growing. We have been saying this over and over again, but of course, the data actually shows the growth of tourism in this country, both international and domestic tourism. But of course, COVID has actually taught us that perhaps we need to put a lot of energy into domestic tourism. And so from Ghana Tourism Development Company, we've initiated quite a number of activities or a number of programs to ensure that we could actually seize the opportunity to increase tourism domestically and of course internationally. I'm not sure, I don't know whether you have an idea about what we call the Accra by Night, which is the night tour that we have actually begun. We launched it, the minister launched it, I think in April. Since then, it had become one of the most attractive tourism package in Ghana. And in December, we had the entire December booked. In fact, there had been trips upon trips. But the good news is that not only are we successful with the launch of Accra by Night, but we have also launched what we call the Ghana Tourism Marketplace, which is a digital platform through which people can actually book tourism products and services, not only by GTDC, but also the entire tourism ecosystem in Ghana. So if you're a tour operator, if you're a car rental, if you are a tour guide, you sign up to the Ghana Tourism Marketplace and people can book your service. So as I speak, almost about 90% of the Accra by Night tour had actually been booked from the Ghana Tourism Marketplace. Currently, we're hosting quite a number of events, including that of Ochami Kwame, on that particular platform. We are hosting a number of, national theater, events on that platform. We have quite a number of, tour companies on that platform. So essentially, we have been able to successfully launch, a tour package. We have launched a digital platform that can actually aggregate the demand of tourism in this country. Of course, we have also launched what we call the Ghana Tourism Investment Platform. GTDC, one of our responsibilities is to ensure that we can bring investment into the country in terms of tourism investment. And we realized that one of the many ways that can actually help us to do so successfully is to launch a digital platform where we can actually profile almost every investable tourism place in Ghana within the 261 district. Now, with that, we can actually comfortably market, these look for investments for these, tourism, investable tourism areas in Ghana. So we have launched quite a number of, initiatives that we think can help us take advantage of the growing domestic tourism as well as international tourism in Ghana.
Let's talk about cultural tourism. With Ashanti region, we are learning, and of course, Greater Accra being top destinations. And I'm wondering how GTDC will promote cultural tourism in these two regions largely.
Now, obviously, if you look at our cultural tourism, it's very much steeped into what we call the festivals. I've always said that even in our domestic tourism, figures, until recently, which the statistical department actually captured festivals in the calculation or in the measurement of tourism, we were not actually capturing that data. So it wasn't really painting a very, a practical picture. But of course, that has been added. So it means that we need to do a lot more to enhance festival, goers, experiences. So currently, we have developed what we call the festival and event management protocol. We want to train people who organize festivals and events on how to effectively put these events together and make sure that people can have a very good experience, and as a result, increase participation. So coming January, we're going to roll out that particular training. It includes transport system management, for example. It includes, waste management. It includes health and safety. So many other modules that we believe that when we give people that particular training, it would empower them. It could actually give them enough experience how to manage, festival participation. Therefore, enhance, people coming to these festivals and tapping especially the money, because obviously when you organize the festival, you want people to have the opportunity to spend. They have to spend into the local economy. And if you do not put it rightly, they might not be encouraged to spend. They might go home with their money, so to speak. And so we have to give people who manage these festivals and these events enough capacity so that they will be able to tap into the commercialization of these festivals.
And I appreciate that, sir. But again, we want to find out from you. Christmas is here with us, and there are lots of events all over. How is your outfit positioning itself to maximize the season to boost our economic tourism in the country largely?
Absolutely. As I mentioned to you, we have actually launched the Accra by Night. I'm sure you have heard about it. I mean, for the entire December, in fact, when we launched it, we're doing it Friday, every last Friday of the month. In December, we booked not only all the Fridays in December, but almost every Saturday and Saturdays in December, the Accra by Night trip were booked. Now, that is, because we do not have the capacity. I mean, the bus is only one. I don't know whether you've seen the double-decker bus.
Yes,
we have only one, and so we can only operate within Accra. Of course, we have actually been in touch with some of the government agencies, hoping that they can help us, procure more than one of these buses so that we can actually allocate them to other regions. Clearly, I mentioned about the Ghana Tourism Marketplace, where we're using to, sort of promote the events that are happening in Ghana, for example. So when you go into the marketplace, you find that you can buy your ticket to Kwame Nkrumah, for example. You can buy a ticket to shows at National Theatre, Conference Center, etc. So we are using both technology and activities to promote the festivities in Ghana currently as we speak.
All right. Thank you so much. The Chief Executive Officer, Professor Kobi Mensah of the Ghana Tourism Development Company Limited, speaking to us here on the back of the tourism industry. Of course, it is a season we are all looking forward to. All right, let's shift focus to some other stories. Ghana's building construction sector has recorded a further slowdown in inflation in November 2025, offering relief to contractors, developers, and households amid easing cost pressures. According to the latest Prime Building Cost Index released by the Ghana Statistical Service, overall building construction inflation declined to 5.9% in November, down from 7.8% in October. And this marks the 7th consecutive month of decline in construction inflation. Here's Acting Deputy Government Statistician Omar Seidu.
Data presented by Acting Government Statistician Omar Seidu highlighted improving cost of conditions across key components of the construction industry. Despite the year-on-year slowdown, overall prices of building input rose marginally by 0.4% month-on-month between October and November 2025, reflecting moderate price adjustment within the sector.
Prime building cost is increased by 0.4% between October and November 2025. Materials and plants are driving the easing, while labor is adjusting slowly. A small group of items, especially steel and both skilled and unskilled labor, account for almost all the inflationary pressures. Number 5, price declines in reinforcements, cement and other low inflation groups and are helping to moderate the overall index. What this means is that the construction economy is in a period of relative stability. Costs are still higher than last year, but the pace of increase has slowed dramatically. And for several months now, we have seen real-time declines. This is a useful environment for households, businesses, and government to plan with greater confidence. As we would usually do, we provide some recommendations for households, for business, and for government. For households, with material prices stabilizing, it is a good time to start or resume your building project.
The report further shows a significant easing in labor-related pressures. Year-on-year labor inflation fell sharply to 12.7% in November from 13.7% in October. On a month-on-month basis, labor prices increased by 2.6%, suggesting continued demand for skilled labor, albeit at a slower pace.
And to one other leading stories we are following up for you. In a swift market sweep, the Ghana Revenue Authority in the Ashanti region has seized alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages sold without excise tax stamps at the Ashanti New Town Market in Kumasi. The compliance exercise is part of strategic efforts by the Ashanti Regional Office of GRA to tighten the tax net as a contribution to national revenue target of over 200 billion cedis. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku joined the GRA enforcement team who seized goods worth thousands of cedis and now reports.
The enforcement unit of the GRA in Ashanti region stormed retail markets dealing in the sale of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages at the Ashanti New Town Market with one mission: to seize products without the excise stamp. From every nook and cranny of the market, the team ransacked shops in frantic effort to take hold of any canned and bottled beverage without the approved excise stamp. While some shops had secured the stamps, others had them but had failed to fix them on the products.
We give them the stamp. We ask them to affix the stamp at that particular place before they send them out. This is not a place where we met the product, where we first go there to count the product. We came here right now. We have seen that they have the product here. They don't affix the stamp. This is the stamp. She's telling me that the stamp is not up to the quantity that they demand. I said, no, if that is not the case, just affix the stamp to the quantity that the thing will require. Then if you have any issue, then you bring it out.
Into me buy no me twem do to bibia kama and me request stamp na mo stamp na stamp no me buy no mo bre me more than
I imported these products myself. I began affixing the stamps, but unfortunately yesterday there was heavy congestion, so I decided to keep some of them here so that I will affix the stamps myself.
In case say no Sunday because of traffic the
exercise is part of a broader effort by the GRA in the region to seize excisable goods that escape the tax net on the market, especially during the festive season. Isaac Kwame Amakum is the head of the enforcement unit at the GRA in Kumasi.
It's a strategy that they use to evade the taxes. So some of the stamps that they claim they have maybe fake ones. You are here with us and you've seen the number of products that we've seized since we started this exercise in the morning. And if revenue that have been realized from these products are out of the tax net, then you could see the sort of negative impact it will have on the revenue that we collect in this area. From experience, we know that during festive occasions, these products, alcoholic beverages and even non-alcoholic beverages, are purchased and then consumed.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has set a 220 billion cedi nationwide revenue target for the year 2025. The Ashanti region in the past contributed significantly towards the national revenue mobilization efforts. With only a few days to end the year, the authorities admonishing the public to honor their tax obligations. Agnes Edujemfie is the area head for the Kumasi office of the GRA.
We do our best. We do our best with the support from our taxpayers. We do our best. And it's the same support that this morning I am pleading, I am calling on them to support us to meet the 2025 target. They can do it. I know how they have been very good or attending to their tax obligation. They should be able to help us to meet the target.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
You're still watching Business Life. We have more for you after this break. Hello again, welcome back to Business Life. Ghana's rubber industry may be heading towards a tense standoff as farmers in the Western region push back strongly against a proposed government move to restrict the exportation of raw rubber. Natalia Kwanzaa has more.
Western Rubber Farmers Association, together with traders and actors in the value chain, is accusing the state of taking a major policy decision without completing agreed stakeholder engagement. A recent statement by the association recalls a sector meeting convened months ago by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Agribusiness. Stakeholders say the minister admitted the issues were too complex for a single sitting.
Rubber farmers condemn proposed government restriction on raw rubber exportation, demand appropriate consultation with rubber farmers before policy implementation. The Western Rubber Farmers Association, RUFA, together with concerned farmers and traders within the rubber value chain, wishes to express deep concern and disappointment over government's sudden decision to impose restrictions on the exportation of raw rubber without completing the agreed stakeholders' consultation.
They challenge the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Alexander Gabi Hotozi, who recently visited Grill and made certain findings. The farmers asked, did he also speak to primary producers? Did he speak to traders and aggregators? They insist the answer.
That's it for Business Life. I am Pius Kojo Baka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com.